Some countries have the ability to polarize global opinions, swinging between intense admiration and fierce rejection. This usually happens when a nation sticks to a consistent policy and rigid ideology for decades. In this kind of situation, people may feel drawn in or pushed away over the years. Libya is a classic example of this dynamic. For a long time it was ruled by Muammar Gaddafi, a figure who gained worldwide notoriety. When Gaddafi was overthrown, many Libyans hoped for a new era of prosperity and peace. However, the reality turned out to be very different, and today the country faces a state of ongoing chaos. Before diving into the current situation in Libya, it's crucial to understand its geographic and demographic characteristics. These elements are key to understanding any national context, especially in a country as deeply affected by major transformations as Libya. Libya, located in the vastness of North Africa, is one of the largest countries both on the continent and in the world. But it's not just its size that stands out. Libya is rich in oil, boasting the biggest reserves in all of Africa. This abundance has turned the region into a true oasis of underground wealth, with valuable resources flowing from its soil. However, as with many oil-rich areas, outside interference is almost inevitable, especially from Western countries. This has contributed to a state of instability that can be seen not only in Libya, but across much of the Middle East and other oil-rich African countries. Sudan, for example, has been a key case of this dynamic. On the flip side, nations like Saudi Arabia and Qatar have managed to maintain relative peace and stability by using their oil resources to their advantage. Libya, a vast country with a surprisingly small population of just 6,735,000 people, as revealed by the latest census, feels almost empty compared to its large territory. This modest number of inhabitants isn't solely due to wars, as even before the fall of the previous regime, the population never exceeded 6 million. As the chaos continues, many of the country's more skilled and affluent citizens have started to leave, further decreasing the qualified population. Geographically, Libya is bordered by Algeria and Tunisia to the west, Niger and Chad to the south, and Egypt and Sudan to the east. The capital, Tripoli, serves as the beating heart of the country, home to nearly half of its inhabitants. Despite being located in Africa, the cultural identity of Libyans is distinct, with strong Berber roots. The Berbers, whose origins are more closely tied to the Semites, share more genetic traits with Arabs, Syrians, Kurds, and other Mesopotamian civilizations like the Assyrians and Akkadians, than with other African groups. Over the centuries, Libya was the site of numerous invasions and conquests, until it was annexed by Italy after the Italo-Turkish War. After World War II, with the reduction of the Italian presence, the country regained its independence. In 1969, a significant change happened without violence. King Idris Qawli was overthrown, paving the way for Muammar Gaddafi to emerge as the leader. Gaddafi held on to power until 2011, maintaining a strong stance of independence from Western powers. During his rule, Gaddafi was often criticized by the West, which tried to influence Libyan politics. He was also a strong supporter of other Muslim countries. Domestically, the Libyan government provided electricity, water, and natural gas for free, considering them basic rights. Additionally, banks didn't charge interest, and several products were tax-exempt, thanks to the wealth generated from oil, which significantly eased the cost of living for the citizens. Muammar Gaddafi had an ambitious vision for Africa. He dreamed of a continent united under one flag, transforming it into a global powerhouse both economically and socially. However, his ideas faced strong resistance. In 2011, with support from Western nations, rebels overthrew several African leaders in a series of events marked by disgrace. This is a well-known strategy of the United States. They have a habit of intervening in countries rich in natural resources, stirring up internal divisions like religious and racial conflicts. With local leaders removed, the U.S. steps in as saviors, ready to restore peace, while simultaneously taking control of these nations' resources. This is a classic example of imperialism. It raises the question, why do countries in Africa and the Middle East keep falling into this pattern of manipulation instead of seeking unity and collective strength? Libya presents a fascinating duality in its current reality. On one hand, When I look at Western countries, I can't help but feel a bit envious of the quality of life and legal stability they enjoy, a result of their strong purchasing power. However, it's impossible to ignore the often cruel historical policies of these nations. For the past 12 years, Libya has been struggling to establish stable order. Its coastal location might paint a picture of an idyllic country, and in fact there are signs of progress, with the population slowly transitioning to a new social order. In the central areas, a surprising calm prevails, free from chaos. However, a visit to the city tells a very different story. On one side, you find ruins and the dust of destruction. On the other, breathtaking, untouched views. The calls to prayer echoing from the mosques are a testament to life's persistence in the country, no matter the hardships. In the public squares, you'll find a diverse society where many women, dressed traditionally in black in respect of Islam, share the space with men, highlighting Libya's rich cultural tapestry. In Libya, the streets are always full of life, buzzing with the constant flow of cars that have definitely seen better days, many of them over a decade old. The buildings, each with their own stories, typically date back 30 or 40 years. However, what really adds color and life to the streets are the traditional outfits worn by men, predominantly in white or light tones, reflecting the country's Arab and Berber heritage. A vibrant touch is added by the Libyan flags, which are seen everywhere, especially in Tripoli. They hang proudly, serving not only as decoration but also as a source of inspiration and motivation for the locals. At night, Tripoli transforms. The streets, far from emptying out, bubble with activity. People of all ages stroll around or gather in the squares to enjoy sports events and other attractions. This lively and safe atmosphere is a testament to the resilience and community spirit of the Libyan people. However, if you plan on exploring deeper, be ready to drive, as domestic air travel leaves much to be desired. Driving through Libya gives you a broad and at times challenging view of its vast distances. Imagine traveling for 7 to 8 hours just to get from one city to another. As you venture out, visual communication can become tricky since all the signs are in Arabic, unlike places like Saudi Arabia or Dubai, where English also appears on road signs. In Libya, that bilingual help is rare, making it essential to have either a guide or a good grasp of Arabic. The marks of history and conflict are evident in the bullet-riddled buildings and rusted, abandoned vehicles along the way, especially in areas far from the urban centers. Yet, Libya's vastness is also marked by its desert beauty. The Sahara stretches out like a blanket of sand and sky, where you can feel like the only human for miles. The country is so expansive that it could easily support a population many times larger than its current 7 million inhabitants. One curious and positive point is the incredibly cheap price of gas, costing just 3 cents per liter. This reflects the country's abundance of oil, although paradoxically, Libya still lacks a formal market to properly manage and capitalize on its oil reserves. In the current situation, much of this valuable resource ends up being smuggled to neighboring countries like Tunisia through illegal channels, which is a significant loss for the local economy. Libya, a country full of contrasts and hidden beauty, remains a largely unexplored destination for foreign tourists. If you arrive with a camera around your neck, be prepared to become the center of attention. The curiosity is so great that it's not uncommon to be accompanied by officials during your explorations. Throughout the capital and other cities, towering hotels echo with silence, standing as witnesses to the absence of visitors and the underutilized tourism potential. But beyond the obvious challenges, Libya hides treasures that are worth discovering. Picture yourself crossing vast deserts or walking along turquoise-blue beaches kissed by the Mediterranean. The country is a palimpsest of civilizations with ruins that tell stories of ages past. And for food lovers, Libya offers a rich culinary culture focused on succulent meats, along with delicious dates and bananas that serve as the cherry on top of the local gastronomy. The slums reflect a harsh reality, where life unfolds among deteriorating buildings with cracked floors and walls eroded by time, reminiscent of conflict zones like Syria and Iraq. In Tripoli, the capital, the presence of major global brands is nearly non-existent, and the local population keeps their traditional commerce alive through vibrant bazaars lining the main streets, offering clothing and food. However, filming these urban scenes can turn into an unpredictable adventure. In the busy squares of Tripoli, for instance, there are hidden risks. Plainclothes agents often patrol these areas, and if they spot someone who doesn't appear Libyan or is carrying professional equipment, the situation can escalate quickly. The foreigner may be detained along with their guide and taken to a private location for questioning. There, they will face inquiries about their intentions in Libya, while their documents and filming materials are thoroughly inspected. When you visit Libya as a tourist and show genuine interest in the local culture, it's common to notice a shift in the attitude of security officers, who move from a serious approach to a more friendly and welcoming one. However, filming in public areas can still lead to delicate situations. If the officers find anything suspicious during the recordings, the interrogation process can be quite stressful. It's crucial that the information you provide matches the evidence they have. If everything checks out, you're usually released without major issues, and the officers will even escort you back to the spot where you were first approached. Interestingly, many of the agents working in the area are of Libyan origin and blend easily with the locals, making it hard to identify them as authorities just by appearance. Their main focus is monitoring people's behavior and stepping in when they see something out of the ordinary. It's important to note that they don't accept bribes to let someone go. Their role is strictly to ensure internal security in the country. Many remember the Gaddafi era as a time of greater economic stability in Libya, but many agree that security has significantly improved since then. Under Gaddafi, everyday pressures were constant, and the government had a heavy hand in all aspects of citizens' lives. Today, despite a possible decline in purchasing power, Libyans enjoy more freedom and a government that promotes a more democratic and modern way of life. Challenges remain, especially when it comes to the exploitation of national resources like oil by major foreign powers. If Libya could gain greater control over its resources and distance itself from Western influence, it could potentially achieve development comparable to Dubai within a few decades. The hospitality and kindness of the Libyan people are undeniable, and they deserve to thrive in a country that has rebuilt so quickly after conflicts. Stay with us on this journey, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more analyses like this one. See you next time.